Are you quick to bury your emotions? Do you avoid what you're feeling? Do you tend to logic your way out of a painful situation rather than actually face it? Well, the thing is, if we bury our emotions, if we bury what we're feeling, this actually causes more pain, more heaviness, and it leads for the wound to become bigger. What we need to do is acknowledge how we feel, purge how we feel, release how we feel, and that way we can heal it quicker. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a founder and empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. This is the thing. We're very quick to move forward, move on. I'm strong. I can do this. I'm okay. I still do this. And I'm the biggest advocate for crying. I think crying is the best release to release tension, emotions, pain, whatever. Because we're carrying a heavy burden. We think that burying something or avoiding it means it goes away. It doesn't go away. It actually gets louder and louder. It's like that heavy backpack analogy. You're putting stuff into that backpack over and over again, and you're not actually releasing it. Pressure cooker energy. It's about to explode. And this is what happens. Like, I still do this. I will deliberately cry or make myself cry or watch a movie to make me cry when I know that I need to release. But lately, I find myself pushing through. What do I mean? It's like if something comes up, I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. It's weird. Like, I'll give you an example. For I could forgive somebody before I actually heal myself. But I don't heal. Forgiveness is healing. What I mean is I could logic my way out of it and say, this happened for a reason. This happened because of this. This happened because of the other person. This happened because of whatever. This happened for this message, this lesson, whatever it is. And I'd be like, this is grand. Perfect. I know what I'm doing. I'll just push on. And then I start to feel heavy and I start to feel drained. And I'm like, oh God, what's going on in a second? Because I didn't actually feel it. We can be strong enough to get through something, strong enough to understand something. But if we don't feel it and acknowledge it, we can't release it. Like I this other example, I was going through something over the weekend and I was working my way through it, but like I felt I was so proud of myself because my reaction to it was so much stronger than my reaction that would have been previous. A similar situation, because this is the thing, we heal in layers, so it's kind of your same wound again, or same scenario again, to show you, okay, this is what you need to heal again, or this is showing you that you're stronger than last time. So everything I logicked around the situation was like, wow, my reaction is so different. I'm so much stronger than I was before. And it didn't work out the way I thought it would. And then I was just like, okay, the better out, or the new outcome is better. So I was really kind of saying to myself, the way this thing happened or unfolded was the right thing. And I'm stronger for it, and I reacted better. And it's like I'm I'm in my empowered energy. I feel so much better for it. But yet I didn't feel what it did. You can be stronger, you can be empowered because of a certain situation, you can understand the reasoning, you can understand why you went through it. But if it's a painful situation, that pain is still going to linger. And it's funny, I was reading my book yesterday after like two days of avoiding what I was feeling. I started feeling really heavy. I was heavy all weekend. But I was like, it's fine, I'm okay, it's fine, I understand the situation, it's fine. Fine is actually positive and feelings inside not expressed. I wasn't fine, but I was fine, I wasn't expressing my feelings. But I was reading this book and it was like, it wasn't a sad book, it's a self-help book. It was Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, so it was very scientific. So there was nothing emotional in the book. But yeah, every sentence I was reading, I was like, oh, I'm so sad. It's really sad. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I had to stop reading for a minute. I go, right, you have to process these emotions, because obviously, you're not actually okay. You're not okay. So I ended up sitting there and crying for a few minutes, understanding why I was crying. And then I literally, normally, as I said, I watch a movie to make me cry. So I actually Googled tearjerker romance movies, because I really knew I needed to release. And what I had to understand was, I think what I've been doing is I've been bypassing my emotions lately, because I keep thinking to myself, if I stay there, if I go into them, I'll stay there. And I know what healing is like. If you feel something, or if you face it, if you face it to release it, you don't have to stay there. But I think my layers of wounding, right? We all have them. We heal in layers. We don't heal everything in one go. The wounds are massive. The wounds aren't coming from the current situation. The triggers that we get in a current situation are literally showing us what we need to heal from our past relationships, from our childhood, from past lives. So like everything that is happening in the moment is a reflection of what has happened in the past. So the wounds run deep. And the fact that I've done the unworthiness wound over and over again, I'm still in the energy of when it pops up. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm like literally going, I don't want to do this again. What if I relapse? What if I go back? What am I going backwards? And I think that's something we all ask ourselves. It's like we could be in this empowered energy, really good energy, which I've been in for the last couple of weeks, really, really, really pushing forward energy. So for me to kind of have a couple of days of triggers and emotions, it scared me. You know, it was like, oh, I don't want to go back again. What if all of the last couple of weeks was just false confidence? Or what if I'm not this empowered woman? And what if I'm actually this upset, emotional person still? But like, you know, and so I was kind of identifying with my wound rather than just understand. Well, I was understanding it, but I was kind of afraid that if I went into the pain, if I went into the emotion, that I would actually remain there and that I would be back down. Like, you know, I would have fallen back down a little bit rather than have been up where I was. So I think that's what we fear. It's like if I face it, it means I have to own it. But you don't have to own it. You can let it go, and that's it. Like we're only resurfacing wounds, or we're only being shown what to heal again in order to release them. As I said, we're burying stuff on top of buried stuff. You know, those wounds are going deeper and deeper and deeper. So every time it comes up, it doesn't mean you've gone backwards. Doesn't mean all the past healing hasn't been worth it. It's just showing you the next layer. And as I already said, like with my logical brain, I was able to say, okay, I'm so much stronger now. I'm reacting differently. Yes, I am. And a part of me is kind of like, you're reacting differently, you're stronger, so you don't need to cry, you're fine. Do you know what I mean? I think crying is so important. It's really healing for your body and your mind. And like, it's just, I don't avoid crying, but a part of me was avoiding the pain, avoiding the emotion. I was like, I'm strong, I'm powering through, this is okay. I'm not in pain, I'm so much stronger. The outcome was so much better than I expected, so this is important. But the pain was still there. The emotions were still there. And they were coming up out of nowhere. As I said, just reading that book and my eyes were just going, I'm so sad. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, why are you so sad? It's because the situation still caused pain. The situation still hurt me. And a lot of the times we're so strong, you know, pushing through and all that we're like, we don't admit that we're in pain. We don't want to admit that we're in pain. We think that if we power through and if we're strong, that makes it go away, or that makes us strong. You know, that's strength, not weakness. We think that if we admit pain or defeat effectively, is like saying, you know, I'm weak. But you're not weak. And it's like, I've done this so many times. I could power through so much. And then when the 1 minute I just release and say, I'm not okay, I finally say to myself, it's okay not to be okay. And I'm like, I feel stronger for not being okay. No, for admitting that I'm not okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it was brief. Like I was spending the last couple of days heavy. I could feel that heaviness. I knew that the situation had caused me more pain than I was allowing myself to admit. And I didn't want to admit that. I just didn't. I felt like if I did admit it, that I was disempowering myself and that I would go back down. But I was starting to get weaker and weaker. Over the couple of days, I started to feel heavier. I was waking up, I was really upset, I was really sad, and I was like, if I continue, because this happened in March. I went through something at the start of March, and the whole month of March, I did this. And as I said, I've been healing for years, and I know how to heal. I know I know my triggers, and I know when I'm avoiding, and I know when I'm not avoiding. But I spent the whole month of March completely ignoring, or doing the same thing I did this weekend, completely ignoring how much pain I was in. And I went through a full solid month of waking up in an energy of sadness, just complete low energy. And, I was able to get my work done, and my energy uplifted, but every day was like painful. Every day was a struggle. And it was only at the end of the month that I did a past life regression meditation that I was like, oh my God, I'm just after spending the whole month with my heart fucking closed. Not speaking to anyone, not even admitting things to myself. So I literally spent the whole month blocking out. And this is what we do when we close our heart. We're not just blocking out the world or blocking ourselves from getting help or from talking to someone or even expressing ourselves. We're literally blocking out the emotions that are stuck there. So I spent the full month of March, if not a little bit more, completely ignoring what I was feeling. And then the start of April, I literally just purged and I let it all out. And I was like, how did I do that for a month when I know what I'm supposed to be doing? When I know when I'm supposed to be healing? Why am I still avoiding that pain? Why am I still ignoring it? And it's because for the whole month of March, I said to myself, I can't talk. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to tell anyone what's going on. I don't want to admit this. I don't want to speak about this because if I speak about it, it makes it real. That's the way I was. That's the energy I was feeling. And I was just like, I think that's one of the things as well. If I speak about it, it makes it real. No. If you ignore it, it makes it real. The way I see it is if you speak about it, you get to release it. You let it go. It comes out of your mouth and you let it go. Whereas if you don't speak about it, it just gets heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And nothing seems to change. And so thankfully this weekend, it only happened over 2 days. Like I spent a full month in what I felt was relapse energy. I felt like I was going backwards. I felt like there was nothing moving. I felt like I just felt like so closed off. My heart was fucking broken, and I felt so closed off. And this weekend, it was a milder situation that I went through, but I did the same thing again, and I could feel that heaviness. The 2 mornings I woke up, I was like, no, this is not right. Like I've been in really high energy for the last couple of months, and now I'm like back into that energy of being really low, really sad, and I'm like, something wrong here. And I still avoiding. I just started reading my book, and I was like reading, and then I started getting emotional, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what I've been doing. I've been avoiding again. I've been literally ignoring what I'm feeling, and this is what we don't understand. Sometimes it's conscious, sometimes it's not conscious. Like I know myself when my body is telling me something. I've come to become. I've known. I've learned to become aware of my body. So I know when I'm avoiding. Do you know what I mean? So like when I started to get really emotional for zero reason, I was literally reading a non-sad book and I was like really emotional. I was like, okay, you have to take a pause for a minute and you have to ask yourself these things. And I'd woken up 2 days, like, and don't get me wrong, we all kind of go, as I said, I just said I've learned to become aware, but I spent a full month of March in complete blocked off energy. So like, no matter how self-aware we are, we can go through these periods of avoidance. We can go through these periods of literally blocking off what we're feeling and avoiding what we're feeling. And I keep doing it. I actually keep doing it. And I'm glad I only had 2 days this week because I feel so much better. Like I woke up this morning in good energy again because I actually let myself release. I cried so much yesterday and it was lovely. That sounds weird, but it was lovely because I was able to, I feel lighter and I was able to release those emotions. And what I realized was, yes, I might have been able to understand the situation. Yes, I might have been able to realize the messages, the lessons, know that I'm more empowered, actually acknowledge that I am stronger than I was the last time. But also say to myself, this still hurt. I think this happens with our childhood trauma as well. We get to a stage where we're kind of so numb with what we've been through that we're like, it's fine, it's okay, it happened, it's okay. Where we kind of, I won't say we downplay, but we minimize the pain we went through because it was so long ago. And I think that's what happens is like, You know, we can avoid a past wound because we're literally saying to ourselves, oh, well, I got through it and it's loads of years later, so I'm okay. Do you know what I mean? There's no need to worry about it. But if you actually explain your wound to somebody or explain what you went through to somebody, they're like, Jesus Christ, are you okay? Oh my God. Like, you sit down there for a minute, kind of like really concerned energy. And you're looking at the person going, why are you so concerned? I'm fine. I'm fine. And then you're like, oh, maybe I'm not fucking fine. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's like, when you, like, if you sit down and actually, if somebody said to you the things you went through from their perspective, so if they went through the things you went through and spoke out loud to you about what they went through, you would literally go, oh my God, let me look after you. Are you okay? Do you know, this is not okay. You know, you need to release this. You need to speak about this, whatever. You'd have concern. Whereas if you speak about it, you're like, oh, it's fine. You know, I'm grand. I'm grand. Do you know what I mean? I'm fine. I got through it. I'm okay. Do you know, I'll just, you know, muster on. I push forward. You know, so you do kind of minimize what you go through, and you're like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Whereas we need to sit down and say to ourselves, hey, what you went through is big. You know, you're not gone backwards. You're not going to be pulled back down into that energy. But what you went through is big, and it's okay to feel pain. It's okay to acknowledge your pain. It's okay to sit with your pain, and it's okay to release your pain. And that's what it is. You're not going to stay in the pain. And I still get fears of this. I do. You know, I no matter how far I am on my healing journey, I still go through the energy of, if I say it out loud, doesn't mean I have to stay there. If I say it out loud, do I have to? If I cry, if I feel the pain, doesn't mean I have to stay there. You don't. And I literally, when you cry that pain out, it goes away. You know, it might come back in another layer at some stage, and then you release it again. But it goes away. It lightens you so much. It lightens you. And I just had to say that to myself this weekend. You know, you're strong. You're stronger than you were. But this shit still hurts. And it's okay to feel that pain. It's okay to acknowledge that pain. And it's okay to nurture yourself through that pain. You know, and I think that I have to be my own nurturer in these ways. And that's why we do inner child healing as well. We nurture our inner child, but we have to really be kind to ourselves and say to yourself, hey, this is hurting you. It's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to cry. It's okay to scream. It's okay to release that through whatever means that you need to release it. And as I said, I literally Googled tearjerker romance movies, and I watched 3 movies yesterday, and I cried for all 3 of them. And that's my way to release. And as I said, I feel so much lighter because I acknowledged it. I'm not going to be sitting there in tears today and heaviness today because I actually released it quickly. As I said, I spent a full month avoiding my feelings back in March, and it's not the first time I've done that. But I spent a full month ignoring how much pain I was in. And then when I actually faced it and acknowledged it, I was able to let go of it. And that's what I did again. So you can do that too. Just be kind to yourself, and just because you know why something happened, just because you see the messages there, and even though you know you're stronger because of them, that pain is still bubbling up inside you. You're allowed to feel that pain. You're allowed to express that pain. You're allowed to purge that pain. You know, you don't have to be strong all the time. And, you know, actually it takes more strength to release than it does to hold it in. It takes more strength to admit to yourself that you need to cry, that you need to release it. So don't ignore your pain. Don't minimize your pain. Don't downplay your pain. The pain is very real, and you're not going to get stuck in it. You are stuck in it by not releasing it. So, you know, trust that when you purge, when you cry, when you scream, when you release, it goes away onto the next layer. But it does, you know, it does lighten the load. That backpack gets lighter. You know, that weight comes off your shoulders. You know what I mean? And you will feel the difference. Like, I spent Saturday and Sunday like this, heavy. I could feel that weight down on me. And now today I'm back up in this energy of, I can breathe again. I can feel good again. So this is it. Like, don't be afraid of your pain. Be afraid of what it will do to you and what it will do to your body, your mind, and your soul if you keep ignoring it. So it's okay to release. It's okay to purge. It's okay to acknowledge. And it's okay not to be okay for a minute. Because once we actually admit or acknowledge what we're going through, then we actually become stronger because of it. So trust that. And do some crying if you need to, do some screaming if you need to, do anything that you need in order to feel that release, to let go of that pain. Because as I said, it's only a burden when we carry it. And we need to be more compassionate towards ourselves and towards what we actually are going through. So listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to your emotions, and let them go and let them release. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. If you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a free discovery call today. Love nothing more than to help in your path. Also, I have another channel called Aligning with Angie, where I share guided meditation every week. The info for that is in the description box. And I have a free feminine empowerment workshop coming up on the Wednesday, the 17th of June at 6 p.m. Ireland UK time for us ladies to get together and support each other. If you want info for that, please comment below.